Here we are. And let's see how the rare is gonna look like. Of course, the civilizations are gonna be the same. Huns, Mongols, and Japanese. So that's that. With, of course, Mayans and Vikings being denied by the game settings. And, well, what's gonna be the difference right about now? So Bustos is gonna be on the flank with his Japanese. So that's, of course, right now a bit advantageous, a bit better, potentially, if they want to be having the Japanese in the pocket for the opponents. And the opponents are having what? In the pocket, Mongols. Yeah, that's not that huge. So it seems like that neither team is going to be all that unhappy about this. So let's look around how this time teams could be looking at, for example, some kind of... Oh, already a bit of attempted stealing as Bustos is apparently caught up. And unfortunately for him, he cannot really steal successfully because LB10 caught him early and got some early hacks at him, 39 hit points. Whereas this guy's having 42, so basically one extra attack. And he's going to be luring him right next to his TC, hoping that he can get some extra shots on him. And, well, careful LB10. LB10 right now should be basically looking to protect the boars. So we are also looking at Liere, already going to be protecting those, hoping to help his teammate and be held by his teammate to protect those so that they don't really repeat what happened last game around. As we are looking at scouts on the other side of the map as well between Teutonic Tanks and Chocobo. So that's going to be the same matchup as we had in game number 1, and well, that ended quite significantly better for Chocobo in that. I can see the Teutonic Tanks basically trying to defend the boar. Doesn't want to lose it at all, like literally at all. Right now Red is scouting around so that he is not surprised by some stealing either. And well, just... oh! Both of these boars in here on the left, Chart is going to be trying to guard it as well with his life, as basically the same on the left. So apparently no stolen boars this time around, as it seems like that both teams are paying enough attention all around and not wanting to lose those precious early resources for them. So that's gonna be alright, it seems like. Don't really expect that anybody is going to be making a mistake from now on, as you're going to be looking around the bases a bit. It seems like that the fishies are quite nicely positioned all around, and there should be any kind of problem with docking on either side of the islands, either to the back or into the front in here. Yeah, not really expecting any kind of problems. Plenty of gold in the middle, of course, as that is how the map is spawned. And well, of course, a bit of a deer pushing. And that's actually a moment... oh, apparently doesn't want to listen all that much, this one. Oh, well, he needs to be waiting when actually the animation ends. It ended just about now. And I was kind of thinking it might have been a bit dangerous, of course, for Liere, because there could have been an attempt to actually steal the boar. To steal the boar yet again by, for example, Bustos, or maybe even Chart, but, well, it didn't really happen. And it seems that the second boar is going to be coming up into the slaughterhouse pretty soon as well, as also the dock is coming interestingly in the front. As the front dock is going to be placed by Liere as well. That's going to be, of course, right now Japanese against Japanese, so that's, of course, very nicely spawned for both of them. It's going to be as fair as possible. And, well, on the other hand, there's going to be front dock from LB10. You will be expecting a front dock from Chat also. So it seems like that everybody is going to be aggressively coming for a front dock, not really going to be denied, or rather hoping for any kind of defensive gameplay. And we should be looking at plenty of early water fights, it seems like. So as opposed to what I was thinking, that this might be played a bit differently and more similarly like Arabia, it's apparently going to be good old water fight with good old galley rushing all across. Seems like pretty good gold mines right now for Chocobo. Shouldn't be worried about potentially even losing the water and whatnot. Otherwise, these golds are also fine for Teutonic Tanks. Seems to be the same for LB10. Yeah, quite far away from the waters, and it seems basically the same for all the players so far that I'm looking at. Liere the same, and of course Bustos, not really any kind of difference. Just potentially this stone could be dangerous for him, but it's about it, as basically the most dangerous goal of all the players is for Chart, but it's not anything all that major, as it's still quite far away, and he still does have the gold in the middle of the map. So that's not really bad for him either. So first village is coming up for LB10 L Chocobo. That's going to be both Mongols, so basically something to be expected. Village already waiting for the second dog to be apparently placed about here. And curiously enough, neither side is walling. It's kind of interesting because it's going to be significantly harder to wall once they advance into feudal ages and start with some galley rushing, because of course the boats are going to be denying any kind of attempts at that, as right now Teutonic Tanks is having some good whacks at the scout cavalry from Chocobo, and I'm fairly surprised. Fairly surprised that the walls are not coming up on the left. On the right, they already are from Liere. That's definitely gonna be needed. I would be expecting some kind of extras could be useful in here as well, because of course this is well passable between the teams. As there's a bit of scout battle happening. Apparently Liere has been caught in, in a bit of a trap. Nicely played by the Japanese. Just caught in the corner in there. Very well played indeed. But still it did result in, I kind of thinking what Liere wanted, and that's keeping those scouts from basically disrupting the wall, building in this position. So scouts going to be apparently coming up into the other side of the map, as LB10 is just now exactly doing the same. I'm still fairly confused why no walling is coming up on this side of the map. Literally, Japanese are not walling at all. They're playing a very dangerous game indeed. But, oh, well, Villager is coming forward from Chocobo, and is he actually gonna be dropping what? Is he gonna wall this off, or is he just gonna be drop off stable? I'm kinda happy thinking it could be just right off stable. He's right now coming forward, and of course, Orange didn't see it at all. He just, potentially, there was a dead scout that could have given it up. But he's moving way, way far away, and he's gonna be probably dropping what and where. I'm entirely not certain. Entirely not certain what's gonna happen. But let's have a look for a moment. How's he looking for example, at some water battles? Yeah, a few galleys already coming from LB10 into Bustos, going to be disrupting the food economy, at least for a bit, but not really for much longer, because of course he is already through. So it's just gonna be a few seconds and minutes, and it's almost looking like that the water battles are not going to be that huge in the early stage, as there is a barracks coming up, and well, that's going to be a surprise. That's going to be the surprise for the Austrians, and pretty early one. And that's all because the walling didn't come up, and that resulted in exactly this guy coming through. And that of course means that even though LB10 and Liere might be thinking they are pretty much safe on the right side, they are definitely not, because on the left, Teutonic Tanks is going to be leaving them basically wide open, and there's going to be plenty of opportunity for the Japanese to come forward, raid and disrupt the economy, and maybe just decide the game like that. Let's see. So a bit of walling coming up finally right about now from Chart, as he's trying to protect himself from some unexpected situations. Definitely good idea, but otherwise so far Liere and LB10 are doing such a good job through the early advances on the water battles that of course Charts and Bustos' economy is gonna be kinda hard to manage right about now, as they're really in pretty tough moments, and even the scout is going to be coming up to help a bit. Well, on the other hand, of course, on the left, Chocobo is doing what he can to deny Teutonic Tanks any kind of good game for the second time around, as in the first Arabia it was basically the same. He was significantly strangling him on the economy and any kind of actions all across the map, but right now he needs to be a bit more careful, because reinforcements are coming up from Teutonic Tanks, and it seems that it's going to be enough to push a few of those galleys back. But of course, it's not like actually Chocobo wants to fight on the water. He's right now finally going to be falling himself off with some stone walls. Potentially could have gone for a stone wall on the enemy base. Kind of think that he should have. Would have been slightly better, not to give any kind of chance to his opponent. And much more importantly, he's already setting himself up very nicely with archers in the enemy territory, and enemies have absolutely zero idea this is happening. And why? Because Teutonic Tanks and Liere both lost their scouts, and I'm kind of thinking that LB10 also already. I don't see him anywhere scouting and anything. Oh, maybe he's here. He's here at the bottom, and that means that there's not gonna be any scouting at all, and it seems like that Austrians might have just been overcommitted on the water without the Japanese. Well, they really wanted to fight for it all that much. They're basically, right now I think this is a bit of a red herring. Basically just trying to make and see LB10, LARA and Teutonic Tanks basically think that they are fighting for the water, whereas they are not really all that fully. And Chocobo is just gonna absolutely slaughter not only Teutonic Tanks, who's right now basically realizing that he needs to protect himself a bit. Yeah, he's not gonna see it, it's gonna end about here, I'm thinking. That's not enough vision for the... Oh, right now, at least the scout, that's something that he could be actually getting an idea. But yeah, he's nicely walled, but unfortunately it's not gonna be enough, as the one villager is already present and archers are coming through, which is of course gonna result in the building of the tower. So very timely built indeed, because without this tower wouldn't be even attempted to become up, or rather to be built. But still, he wasn't really fast enough, and that's gonna result in 2 villagers dead, probably 3. Seems like that this guy might be actually saving himself. But yeah, this is not gonna be working. And those villagers are gonna be denied any resources whatsoever. And this is actually a significant problem. This is a significant problem because this means that both gold mines for Teutonic tanks are gone. And that means that his gameplay is gone. His gameplay is by this very much gone. He will not be able to do anything. You can see this right now out of wood. That's alright, but the gold just one twenty left. And if, of course, Chocobo is going to be playing this correctly and denying the gold for a bit longer, yeah, well, good luck dealing with that. But unfortunately, it seems like that LB10 is... not gonna be fast enough. Oh, that's actually pretty significant because, of course, right about now, with the villager dying, this is gonna be fairly easy to get rid of the palisade wall. It's gonna be also raiding into LB10, and LB10 is not ready. He's of course not ready. He doesn't have anything at all. He's right now going to be just coming for the tower, which in this case will be coming up. Because unfortunately for Chocobo, he's choosing the wrong route. But luckily for Austria, of course, it seems like that this is gonna be also quite deadly. Gonna be losing a few villages here and there. And even though on the water, they seem to be doing not that bad. Even though kinda scratch that, it seems like. As chart seems to be basically picking up quite alright with the number of the boats. It seems to be that he's handling LB10 quite alright at this stage. Liere is doing a very good job, as it seems like that Bustos is basically giving up on the water, more or less. Yeah, he isn't doing anything all that significant. And is there some kind of slinging? So far not, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised with the market coming out right about now for Bustos. If he switched into full-on sling into Chocobo, and I think even with the nerfs in the NC mod pack, I'm really thinking that it would be a pretty good idea at this point, because Chocobo is doing a pretty great job denying everything all across the map, that he should be even more deadly if he gets some extra free resources. Yeah, oh well. Hey ho then, Zach. Definitely hope that you're gonna be enjoying today's stream. Yeah, it's going to be worth all your sub from last month. And how is it looking in here? Well, tower is up, of course, next to gold. That's pretty significant because it's also halfway covering this stone and potentially even the next gold. So it's not really that bad for LB10. But of course, with all the archers still being present, he could be killing this. And there is... this is fairly underestimated by Liere, because I'm fully expecting that right about now, he's going to be switching even into this part of the map. Gonna be killing villages here and there as he finds them. Yep, very nicely played. He's gonna be trying to push even here and get into the Liere's economy also. In the meantime, Blue is basically just right now defending himself, as Liere is picking up in numbers. Not really anything significant, but still, it should be quite good enough. As in here on the Orange Island, on the Orange Island, we are looking at another attempt at tower, disrupting the game plan significantly, and Chocobo doing what he can to advance forward. So far, Bustos and Chart coming into Castle Age, so not any kind of slinging by them. Apparently, Liere also coming into Castle Age so far. And economies right now, as some few new archers are coming up, we are going to be switching on the right side as well, as plenty of them are still patrolling the LB10's base. And even though he doesn't have all that many idols from there, just about 5, it's still quite significant enough, and it's much more than anything simply annoying. Simply annoying to LB10, and also forcing him to spend a lot of extra resources and also gather resources that he doesn't want to all that much at this point. So economies, Austria 35, 34, 42 and 957 on fishing boats, so economy pretty good for the opponents, 27, 38 and 39. So the economies are actually, considering especially the water economy, quite better for Austrians. But let's see if it's going to be long lasting. I'm not all that certain. I'm not all that significantly certain. But yeah, I think this is severely underestimated, especially by Liere. And I'm kinda curious why Chocobo didn't send at least one squad into the green player, because of course right now, with the skirmishes coming up, it's gonna be getting a bit trickier by the minute. Liere already having plenty of them, killing one archer after another, and especially with a bit of help right about now, very nicely timed from the boats. This is very well played by Austrians, good team communication, and this is gonna spell the end to all of those archers in here. At any rate, how's it gonna be continuing from here though? We are looking already at Green, who has found his way into this base. Has he actually transported himself somehow? Apparently, I would be guessing so. There were a few villagers trying to do something in the back, probably trying to rebuild some docks, I'm thinking. Archers are through, and here we go, with some power spike. That is gonna be coming for Chart, because Chart is having quite a big amount of boats for himself, protecting himself even against potential landing by the opponent. And passing the land as well, as he's going to be pushing forward because LB10 is without all that much of a boats. He's even then right now in full-on defense, and they are not really strong enough, as there is even a transport boat by Chocobo. Oh, that's kind of tricky. Kind of tricky and funny. He was probably hoping that he can actually cross into Liare's island without using the shallows that are going to be guarded. But well, yeah, that didn't happen, and this is the transport boat explaining those few guys at the bottom, and even Scorpion being built against all of those archers. At any rate, some boats are already ready by Teutonic Knights, or rather Teutonic tanks, sorry, with some transport boat. Preparing a bit of landing, of course, quite significantly as well, as the siege is gonna be finished. And Chocobo is gonna be forced into a bit of defense right about now, but he doesn't have any kind of military buildings in here, and he probably will be just relying on siege workshop and a few either scorpions or mangonels here and there. Plenty of crossbowmen already ready. Potentially could be coming to snipe off a few of those villages on the goal, but oh, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad for him. This is kind of funny. Both against crossbowmen, but of course, killing them quite significantly, and especially right now with the wall coming up exactly in time. This is gonna be horrible disaster for Chocobo, and very well played by LB10, and the Austrians are gonna be, well, I'm kinda gonna say, come back into the game, because of course, what Chocobo did was quite damaging to all the gameplay that they were having, and basically allowed Char to be having the highest amount of boats on the water, but still, right now, it's not gonna be over yet. And LB10 coming into Castle Age, and the trade already coming up. It's kind of funny this early, at just 27 minutes. It's looking quite interesting right now for Austrian suddenly, and they still could be having quite a good chance of clinching this game and putting it into their backs. But I'm kind of liking how Chart is actually playing. He's so far having 50 economy. Well, it's nice. If actually Liere didn't have 68. So Liere is actually in absolute beast mode. Oh, this is funny. Oh, this is significantly funny. Unfortunately, it's scouted. So of course, there's already going to be some kind of defense, but is it going to be fast enough? I'm not all that certain, because the monasteries these are gonna be producing a few monks here and there. Together with some potentially mangonels, that's gonna be pretty hard to deal with. And well, Liere will have to invest into a bit of a defense, a whole lot more, as he's right now coming for the monastery himself, gonna be trying to counter-convert something, but in the meantime, pretty good battle, as his boats, together with his teammate LB10, are advancing forward onto the enemy Chart, and Chart has to retreat a bit, because this is not a great battle for him to be had. Yeah, he needs to somehow equal the numbers a bit better, because of course he's more or less alone in the fight in here, as Chocobo on the left is not really fighting either. And what's going to be the game plan for him though? Producing a few crossbowmen, but that's about it. And what he's gonna do? What is he gonna do right about now? Defended himself quite alright against the landing that happened a bit earlier by tanks. Going for a monastery for a bit more conversions of potential villages and whatnot. As we are looking on the right side and finally advance forward with, of course, Mangonel from Bustos, but that was a bit of a friendly fire as well, but the conversion of the villages is actually working quite well. Yeah, well, that didn't really help, but all of those yellow villages, they were actually greens, and this didn't work for Liere as he hoped that it would, and that's actually a pretty big problem for him, because it's gonna give plenty of extra villages to mine all the stone, potentially drop some castles, maybe even just towers a bit later. So yep, problems are gonna be piling quite significantly for Liere right about now. Are they gonna stop this? Monastery potentially? Oh well, they're not. They're not, but they're at least killing the monk. That's of course quite significant as well, as Redemption is coming up, and Redemption is... yeah, right now I don't remember, so let's see. Redemption is actually doing what? Is it against Siege? Ah, enemy buildings. Enemy buildings, so he's going to be hoping that he can actually convert a bit later those monasteries and potentially the siege workshop, but it might be just a bit too late, because of course there are going to be some good headshots by all the mangonels, and they are gonna be killing plenty of the economy of the green player. But still he's inching forward right now, having 78, which is not even the strongest anymore, because Chocobo is switching into pretty strong boom at 79 already, 81, 62 for Chart, 48 for Bustos, whereas 53 and 52 are the numbers for LB10 Teutonic tanks, so the economy is actually not that bad anymore for Japanese, and they are definitely doing a good job overall. Let's move back to the water battle. This is an okay-ish battle, I think, for Chart so far, as he's actually battling just LB10, but as long, or rather as fast as Liere is joining into the battle as well, it's suddenly gonna be turning into something not that huge, and that might be a bit more than he can actually handle. Okay, so still Teutonic tanks trying to get rid of all of the buildings, as Chocobo is going for cartography so that he can see what's happening all around, with the one villager trying to destroy this, but yeah, he's gonna be probably converted, right? Right, he should be converted. Why is he actually not converting? Is he waiting for some... I don't know what. He could be waiting for what, I'm not exactly certain. But of course, this combination is quite strong, and it seems like that it's going to be coming up from Liere as well, because he's already having plenty of monks, but he is still missing the mangonel, so it's going to be all about the proper micro, and who is going to be playing that a bit better. Oh, what the hell? He just killed his last... well, not really last, I'm thinking, but that was bad. That was really bad. Where is it? He's having just, or rather still plenty of villagers left in the tower, but that definitely didn't help. That definitely didn't help his efforts, as we are looking at finally green boats making it all the way actually to the back base of Chart, as he has basically lost the front docks, and with the help from Chocobo, who is apparently going to be coming back into the water with proper economy already. It seems that the water battle still is not going to be decided, but with Liere coming into Imperial Age already, right about now, faster than its opponents by quite some margin, it might be just the power spike that Austrians are waiting for, and they might be closing the water after that, especially looking right now at all the army coming from the bottom side as well. So it's gonna be pretty hard on the water, and might be just all up to Bustos if he can follow up properly with this attack and somehow deny Liere his proper game plan. Well, let's see. Plenty of monks already present as well, as we're gonna be resuming. Oh, getting the mangonel in there, that was probably through the shots of the town center, not entirely certain. That was just one converted monk in there. Nicely played. Nicely played, of course, by Bustos. As you're gonna be looking at a few monk wars in there. There is still another stone, I think, in. Yeah, there should be a second stone that is going to be right now gathered. Of course, by Liere, but otherwise, dropping the castle, that's exactly what he needs to do. And if he's gonna be finishing with that in time, without being disrupted, which it seems at this point that he will be, then that's gonna be making him basically the end for Bustos. And yeah, this attempt is not gonna be working anymore. Oh, but here we see the transport. And apparently we're going to be moving into another island, and that's going to be LB10. He should be just depositing himself, or rather deploying himself there, quite alright. As the water battle is right now going to be heading into a pretty significant stage, but oh well, not really. Not really, I was kinda thinking that this actually squad from the bottom is gonna be following up, but apparently I didn't think so. It's going to be just a whole lot easier right now for the Japanese, and I kinda think that was a mistake, because if LB10 did send the reinforcement through, I kinda thinking that could have won fairly easily in this battle. But yeah, let's see how the Imperial Age power spikes are gonna be working for either team. Apparently a few horses already coming up from Teutonic tanks, as he has established himself on the left side quite well with another landing, and even though the castle is up for Chocobo for pretty decent defense, I'm not entirely certain it's going to be strong enough, because of course Chocobo, strong economy at 93, one more than Liere, but still with the water being in pretty full power so far. So far for the opponents, I'm not entirely certain that they're gonna be having any kind of good chances of winning. Yeah, trying to deal with a lot of villages all across the map. But of course right now with even the galleons coming up, it's going to be a whole lot harder, because I don't really think that you can convert a boat. I'm not To be honest, I'm not entirely certain. But I don't really think that it can happen. You know, the villager converted. That seems to be working alright. Villagers need to be moving forward because they need to... I don't know what. Maybe drop a castle? He's having plenty of stone, so he should be just attempting to drop a castle maybe. It's gonna be a bit tricky, of course, because of all the villages. And of course, losing everything in there. Losing everything in there. So what's gonna be the game plan right about now? I'm not certain because this army shouldn't be enough. As it seems that really is going to be confirmed just about now. So this still standing, but not for much longer because of the Imperial Age, the castle and the trebuchets. It's gonna be fairly easy to get rid of. As green is even moving forward, it's gonna be quite annoying in here in the water, and I don't exactly see how Japanese could be coming back to it because it seems to be well in hand of the Austrians. Still plenty of boats left, having the defensive castle, even with some few boats of Chocobo, but still, yeah, all the Imperial Ages. Not really certain how actually this could be dealt with for the Japanese, but still they are not giving up. Still going to be fighting in the battle. Still going to be fighting as castle is attempted right about now by Teutonic tanks, which should be finished because we are looking at pretty decent guard of all of those war galleys in there, which should be working quite alright. But with the Imperial Age coming from Chocobo as well, the age advantages are not going to be that present. And still Japanese are having quite a good chance of making something interesting happen. What is also interesting and important to notice on this map is the fact that if you are controlling the water, you are also controlling a pretty good trade route. As you can see, Liere getting rid of all those buildings, as they can be basically setting a trade right about now. The Austrians from here all the way to the top. So that's pretty good trade, and the opponents quite probably won't be able to do so, because of course if this choke point is going to be basically fully controlled by the Austrians, you're gonna be severely inefficient, and once your gold mines run out, you're gonna be more or less in a bit of an impossible situation for yourself. But still the water is not that done. Elite Samurais coming for Liere, interesting upgrade. But he's also having plenty of galleons all across the map, of course, as he's still pushing for the water also. As is LB10, who is sending villages forward, and he actually might be trying to drop a castle somewhere in here. And oh, this could be tricky. Drop a castle here, and you are gonna be basically halfway into the enemy's base. That might be something that actually right now LB10 might be trying to do. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Anyway, this adventure is at the end for Bustos. Quite significantly, and he's gonna be trying to go for war galleys, you can see. And even returning back into the water as in Imperial Age. Japanese, interesting. Interesting. As it seems like that the water is still, there is gonna be a bit of fight for it. But yeah, it's gonna be very hard for the Japanese to actually deal with. Very hard indeed. So castle finished. Trebuchet up, trying to get rid of the castle. There is a defensive one for Chocobo. And quite an important one, of course, because he is a Mongol, so he needs all the castles that he can get. As another new university is gonna be built at the bottom for extra upgrades, but it seems to be one of the beached boats apparently in here, that Austrians are really having the game well in their hands, and it's going to be basically up to them to lose it seems like at this stage. Economies 109, 88, 67 for wars. AK Japan A for the opponents 95, 96, 84. So the economies are better. Slightly better for Austrians. Nothing really all that huge, but they are, especially considering the extra 7 fishing boats for all of these Austrian players. So castle down, town center down as well. That means a bit of a limit on the economy of the food income in there. But we are also looking at plenty of green boats in the middle together with LB10, and very hard attempts by wars to somehow defend this all around. But yeah, right now they are recognizing that it's going to be a GG, because of course the landing right now from Liere is going to be one of the last steps to victory, as Bustos cannot really fight this and also hope to come back into the water. That's just not enough for him, and it's gonna be tied at 1-1 after game number 2. So it seemed like pretty good idea by Chocobo, but unfortunately the Japanese players weren't able to follow up properly, and they paid for it with the prolonged game that went into Austrians' hands. Alright, let's check the achievements. Liere at 12,000, yeah, well, Not bad. I'm just gonna kinda be expecting that he might have been slung a bit. Well, but nothing major. Just 1000 resources, that's like no sling at all. That was just basically probably to speed up the Imperial Age, I'm thinking. But otherwise, that was just his game plan. Gameplay and how good he was. 4000 more than the next best. Yeah, well, that's how skill manifests itself. GG.